You are.
I've been here. I've
Oh,
been here. Um,
geez.
so I guess we could just go around the horn here and see what people got going on. Anybody running into any headaches, questions, concerns before I kind of go on my tirade as always?
No, no.
People need to pay when they order.
What are you talking about?
Do you know how many orders I have in Amazon and eBay that people have ordered and they haven't paid yet?
Listen, the best piece of advice I'm going to give all night is stop worrying about that kind of stuff and sell some more items.
That's why I went and got more books.
See? You got it off your chest now.
Yep, I just needed to gripe about it once.
Fair enough. You got your 10-second whining about people not paying. Hey, people are broke. You see how much gas is almost $4 a gallon here? You know, I'm about to start
I
siphoning out of tanks.
That's it. It is almost $5 a gallon here now.
Oh my gosh. And I was complaining because ours went up to 319.
What else we got going on? Anybody else got anything going on? Anything fun, exciting that it doesn't have to be something you need help with? Anybody have a crazy score this week? Anybody land another bulk source? Like, I mean, are we alive out there?
Yes. Well, I did just pick up 350 books and I'm picking up another lot tomorrow.
Um, Quality stuff? Or are you taking microwave cookbooks?
It's a mix, but I'm going to take the duds and, because they're hardcover, I'll take the duds and lot them up by color.
Bless your soul.
Hmm.
You can make money with lots. You just, as long as you're aware of how to do it and the time it takes, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Um, got some
I've
people.
gotten to doing them. It doesn't take me any longer to do the photos on a lot than it does for me to take photos for a single.
Some people over on a YouTube channel, Brown Frown says the people who sell used books as new are a pain in the butt slash cancer. And I mean, listen, at the end of the day, if you sell your thrifted books as new, you're taking a risk, right? But with Amazon, anything's a risk. We sell CDs and DVDs as new, and you know your Goodwill receipt won't cut it most of the time. You can try submitting it. It just, I guess you can only control the controllables. As cheesy as it sounds, like I don't care if Chris is selling new books. Cool for him, right? You know, like sooner or later the Grim Reaper is going to get them. It's just a matter of time. So the whole thing of Amazon and like I don't know, the whole my whole existence is to have you guys make money without with as minimal risk as you possibly can have. There's risk with anything, right? You can get a counterfeit on a used item. Doesn't even got to be new, right? Textbooks. I tell you all, I don't sell textbooks anymore on Amazon because of the risk. And for me, my sole income, well, my main income is Amazon. So if I can minimize my risk, then that's the route you're going to go. But there's always risk with anything we do. I'm not sitting here telling you got to run your business the same way as me, but you should understand when you do certain things on Amazon, there's a risk. And selling thrifted books is new, there's a risk. But hey, if you sell them new and you're fine with that risk that comes along with that, then, you know, more power to you. But I just tell you right now, sooner or later you're going to get jammed up. I mean, probably sooner or later all of us are going to get jammed up one way or another just because the way Amazon is. But I mean, what are you supposed to do about it?
Do you use restricted inventory for your what's it called? Your textbooks?
No, I just do buyback company. That's it. You could go the restricted inventory route and get a little bit more money out of it if you wanted to. I just prefer the quick money of sell back your book. Right, you ship it into them. You usually get paid within a week. Restricted inventory is probably going to take you closer to a month to get paid on the turnaround. So I just take the quick dollar and move on to the next item. And you could sell textbooks. I'm not sitting here saying you don't have to sell textbooks. I'm just saying there is some
Nah,
risk
I'm not trying to get
associated
sued.
with it.
I'm not trying to get sued up or whatever the consequence was.
I mean, it's I mean it's out there. No matter what you sell, no matter what you do, right? I sent in a few of our Funko Pops that we had laying around, and then Funko put out a big, they started knocking sellers off the listing, so I just liquidated them all immediately. There's risk with anything we sell on Amazon. I want to have as little risk as possible. So when they draw the number, it's never my number, or if they draw my number, they hit Mega Millions, and it's their luckiest day of their lives. That's kind of all it boils down to. It. Some of the nuances of selling on Amazon and textbooks and new used books, and the feedback really don't matter, right? You can get negative feedback, remove FBA. Regardless, right? We can sell as many new books as we want. They say, hey, this wasn't a new book, and the feedback, that doesn't matter. But all it takes is one customer sending a picture, reaching out to Amazon, some Karen that's going to be a pain in your butt, and says, hey, I bought this book new. It's not new, right? Here's photo proof. And then all of a sudden they reach out to Amazon directly. Then you're jammed up because they're immediately going to ask for an invoice. And yes, it happens. I mean, I personally know people it's happened to just because of the boxes they ship their FBM orders in. So it's out there. You just got to pick and choose kind of your lane and where you want to go with it. People sell new books thrifted all the time. I mean, look at the stuff we scan. There's plenty of sellers selling, these books in new condition. And I guarantee you they're not buying them from the publishers or distributors. They're thrifted books 100%. Just what risk do you want to take with your business? For me, nothing's really worth that risk at the end of the day. And maybe for you, you're doing this part-time. Maybe you just want a little extra side money. I mean, I think everybody here can attest. If we went out and scanned books and went off the new prices instead of the used prices, sheesh, we'd be rich real quick, right? Because the books, the price for the new books compared to the used books, some of those things are crazy. So, I mean, there's a lot of money in that, but hey, it comes with the risk at the end of the day. What else we got going on?
Well, Mikey, I think that this is our goodbye.
What?
I think Amazon finally did it to me.
What? What happened?
What?
They finally killed me.
What do you mean?
I had to sit back and take a long, hard look that I cannot work this hard for $30. I rolled over. They finally took my $100, got it down to $38. So after 2 weeks and $800 in sales, I got a $38 payout because I had the audacity of asking for my money one day before the cutoff. So they finally paid me out, and I thought, okay, so $300 rolled off, but I still don't understand how I only made like $200 out of $800, but I'm sure I'll figure it out. I know how to do math, but so anyway, I get there today. It's finally all rolled over. I got my $38, and it says you have $300 payout in 2 more weeks, but today you have available $30.
Yeah, I told you.
And then they said, yeah, but they only paid me $30. I already got my $30, but the money rolled over like you told me, but it says available today $30.
Yes, all that money from that pay period will become available over the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, I can't. But I just spent a whole month making $30, getting a $30 payout.
Message me behind the scenes. You're not allowed to throw in the tail.
Really?
Yes, really.
I mean, I am really debating going back to stock trading. I don't know. I mean, that's an arbitrage that I kind
you trade stocks?
Yeah.
How come you haven't been giving me any hot stocks to put money in?
If I was doing that, then I wouldn't be, schlepping bucks. Yeah, no, I just didn't know how to. The thing was that I knew how to trade during COVID because the market was going straight up. I just never learned how to make money on a market that was going down. So I had to stop until I could get that education.
So you never learned how to trade stocks then?
Well, I did in a bull market. I learned how to trade really well. So I think
market's been going up for a long time.
Well, not a long time, but it has been going up. But by then, I'd already sold out everything, to pay rent.
I'm not gonna lie, I had traded stocks during COVID, and then once the market started going back to normal, I'm like, I was basically gambling. It was basically like a slot machine for me because I was doing stock
Yeah.
options.
And it's really
So I had to stop.
addictive. Even if you're not I'm not a gambler, but stock trading was very addictive for me. And I did really well, but I don't know.
No, I did it.
Money in mutual funds and never touch it until you retire.
But I'm already retirement age. That's the problem. Okay. That's the whole problem.
Well, how much have you been putting in over the past 80 years of your life?
Well, it's all sitting in a piece of property in a country run by a dictator, dude. So what am I going to do?
All right. We need to reevaluate everything. What you can send me over all your overhead costs, every single piece of subscription, every single group you're in, and we'll go from there.
Okay.
You think you're going to come in here and say, I quit on YouTube, and then you just turn off the camera and just ride off into the sunset? No, it don't work like that.
Yeah, it's bad. That's bad for press.
Yeah. And people are like, oh, damn, this guy's an idiot. People are quitting.
This guy's making people quit, yeah.
He's not an idiot, trust me. He's wonderful.
No, you could go to eBay, but you can't quit completely.
I mean,
well, Johnny told me I can't go to eBay. He told me that this week.
Don't go to eBay.
And I decided I'm not doing OA. I'm not going to do it.
You literally just have to. I mean, you were crushing it with the DVDs for the longest time.
Yeah. And actually, I just did the numbers based on you talked me into the repricing on April 12th. And since then, my sales have doubled. I sold 55 DVDs in the whole month of March. I've sold 56 DVDs in the first half of April.
Yeah, we'll get you there. We'll come up with a plan. And at the end of the day, online arbitrage is always going to cost a lot more money to get into, right? Like you're buying items that are more expensive, and the returns are less. But you just spend.
It's a volume game.
Yeah, that's all it kind of boils down to at the end of the day. So yeah, we'll figure it out, and get all your overhead ironed out, and then we'll go from there. What can you cut out? You pay for Keeper, right?
I do pay for Keeper.
How much is that?
It's $20.65 a month.
All right. I'm not going to sit here and say that's the first thing I'm going to tell you to cut, but it's probably the first thing I'm going to tell you to cut. Especially if you're not going to dabble in OA. You have no use for it.
You have Seller Amp, Roz.
I do.
You don't need Keepa.
How much is Seller Amp?
A lot. I think it's a lot. It's $27.95, I think.
Yeah, probably.
All right. Soul searching. Figure out who you want to be. I think you should be the DVD lady in your area since you have connections and people already know you got DVDs. You can just go that route. Focus on disc media. And you can literally just do free pickups, or you can do the commission-based thing you're doing where you split it with somebody. And you basically get the inventory for free either way, where you pay 10 cents a piece and you never lose. Whatever's good, you send to Amazon. Whatever sucks, you send to Mike for 5 cents a piece, so you're really only paying 5 cents a piece. I mean, there's plenty of ways to figure this out before you just throw in the towel. But you can't, I'll tell you right now, you can't be the media seller and the OA seller. You got to pick a lane and stick with it. It's funny. John Muscarella, Side Hustle Experiment on YouTube, he was a bulk book seller. He had a warehouse, all that stuff. And he decided that, because he was trying to do the same exact thing you're doing, Roz. He wanted to get into OA, but he wanted to keep the media as a safety net, right? Because he's making, $10K plus a month on the book side. So he wanted to keep the books, but kind of go into OA. But at the end of the experiment, he said, I should have just went all OA to begin with and just committed to the process. And I think that's kind of where you're at, where you got to decide, who you want to be, what kind of business you want to have, and just whatever comes with that business. So that's kind of my task to you, is figure out, who you want to be, and then we can build out a plan from there. Whether it's perfectly fine. You want to do all OA, then 100% do it. We can work around a plan for that. Or if you want to, do books, or you want to do CDs or DVDs, so we're going to easily build up another plan for that as well. So it's more or less soul searching for you, and then we kind of can figure out a plan. But doing both, I don't think it's going to work. I think you're just trying to juggle too many things at once. and the difference in the business models is too heavy. It's not like, 10 cents DVDs is the same as buying, $50 items to flip on Amazon.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I'll do that. Thanks, Mike.
All right, let's we got some people over in the YouTube chat. Timmy says, I invest heavy in marijuana stocks, and he didn't spell marijuana right, so he's probably high right now when he typed that. Victor says, I'm here for the banter. Deb bought a video game on Amazon, and he personally saran wrapped it and sold it as new. It was pretty funny when we got it. Romer says, free pickups, 100% profit. Yes, but Romer, the problem is we're all not ripped out of our mind like you. And Roz can't carry 3,000 pounds of books to her penthouse suite.
And I don't have a car.
And she don't have a car. Brown Frown says, I use go-to lister, $50, Scout IQ 10, and phone 25. I mean, it's funny because my video I'm going to make on Amazon, on YouTube this week, I'm going to put in the Discord. I wanted to know, like, everybody's software cost across the board, like how much people are paying for all the software you have, or any like permanent overhead costs, like a storage unit or a rented space specifically for your business. So it'll be cool to kind of, jump into that. So yeah, I mean, it's tough kind of trying to figure out who you want to be, but juggling two things ain't it. You either be like me and you live in the media, or you graduate, as they say, on from media, and you just move into OA, or RA, but since you don't have a car, probably just OA or eBay to Amazon, Amazon to Amazon. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. It's just, what do you enjoy more, and what can you, like, you can't be the media person if you can't get the media, right? Like, say you decide, hey, I want to sell media. Well, if you put in, an ad out there for 2 months and you get no hits, you can't be the media person. It doesn't exist in your area. So there is something to be said about your location and what's available to you. Homer said, lift books and cancel gym membership.
There you go.
Brown says, I sell anything unopened. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've sold new board games. I've sold, incontinence products on Amazon. You just got to make sure, us as media sellers, we're not as seasoned with like IP alerts and things like that. So I always tell everybody, you scan something new, if I scan some tampons and I look on Amazon and there's only one seller and it's tampons to brand, like, you probably don't want to sell that because they don't want anybody else selling those items. So you can sell anything new. I just caution everybody, if you're going to sell something that's brand new that isn't media, and there's only one seller on the listing, or two, Amazon and the brand, you do not want to sell that, because you just run into a higher chance of kind of getting jammed up when it comes to things like that. It's the business can be whatever you want it to be, right? I just stick with books because I have the sources and I have the relationships. I mean, you can do whatever you want in this business, and a lot of people just start with books and graduate. I mean, honestly, books is harder than probably any other thing you could sell on Amazon, between the weight and finding enough profitable ones the way the fees are structured today. And it's only going to get harder as the fees go up. So, you just think about where you want to be, who you want to be, and you go from there. I mean, pick a lane and stay in it. Now, I don't know how many times people ask me, hey, when you graduated from books? The answer every time is never. I have the libraries. I have the sources. I'd be stupid. I'm leaving behind free money. Sure, you could argue that I can make more money if I went to another business model, 100%, right? You start selling all these fast-moving items OA, and yeah, you're good to go. But the reality is, I mean, I got it pretty easy. It's as easy as it's going to get for a media seller, the money I make. That's I guess that's the best way I can put it. Like, if selling media is any harder than it was for me, 100% I'd be looking in other directions. But once you get your sources, you understand your sources, you have a few bulk relationships, it's just rinse and repeat. It's not exciting. It's not, it's not like, oh my God, every day you're finding something that's like brand new, shiny object. No, you just rinse and repeat. You go scan, you send, and that's all there is to it. You get paid. I don't know. What else we got going on out there?
Tell you what I've been doing a lot recently. I've been, I guess it's just retail arbitrage, right? Retail arbitraging GameStop pretty heavily.
Where?
It's actually become our number one source, GameStop.
Oh yeah, I mean, they got plenty of crazy markdown clearance sales. Are you doing Yeah, you said you're doing in-store, right? You're not doing like their online sales.
I mean, sometimes you have to go in store for the sales, but this recent one, it was an online sale as well. So I stayed online for this one. It was buy two used games, get one free.
Yeah,
So
for sure. There's so many different ways you can make money in this business. You just got to find the opportunities and take advantage of them when you can. Make sure you're having conversations everywhere you go. Don't be scared to tell people what you do. I don't understand why are people afraid to tell people what they do, like when they're in a thrift store or something. For me, it's like, it's what I do for a living. It's like, I'm not embarrassed of what I do. I think I'm smarter than everybody else in the damn thrift store, because I'm buying stuff for 50 cents and I'm going to sell for over 20 bucks. I'm like, I'm the smartest guy in here, but yeah, I'll tell you what I do. It's not like anybody's going to go do it, right? How many people have you talked to in person, like, hey, this is how you make, if $50,000 of profit a year scanning this crap, and like nobody ever goes and does it. They're just like, oh yeah, whatever, you're crazy, like, or they think you're some crazy, hobo person because you're in here scanning the books, the CDs, and the DVDs. I have no shame in telling, and I tell everybody, you got to shoot your shot in these places. And yeah, I got this. Every time I go in this one store, they got a Gaylord of books in the back, and a different old lady tells me every time, no, you can't touch them. I'm like, you got a whole Gaylord back there, lady. I can see him. Back there, And she's like, no, you're not allowed back there. So, but every time I go, maybe I got to get dressed up next time I go. I'll just bring like a tux and keep it in the car, and then I'll walk in there. Hey, lady, how you doing? You have some.
Have Deb ask.
Yeah.
Watch.
Yeah.
She'll get back there.
You want to take a walk in the back with me, lady? Let's see here. Thoughts on future
You can't
DVDs?
pull off the Joey.
Thoughts on the future of DVDs now that Ingram is stopping selling them? Did you notice a difference when Best Buy stopped selling them? I think it's a good point to bring up, because if they don't produce them anymore, right? The question is, are they going to keep producing them? That's the problem we run into. I don't know, because I was thinking the same thing. Romer brought that up in chat. I think DVDs are going to hold a little bit more value, but what worries me is the fact that if they're going to not be produced as heavily, they're not going to be as, easily accessible, I guess I would say, as they are today, because, you can get DVDs by the truckload basically for next to nothing. So I think that is a good kind of it's the same, I guess you could say the same with CDs though, because we still sell a crap ton of CDs and they're really not produced nowhere near like they used to be produced. So it's all a balancing act, honestly. I don't know. Like a lot of places, Best Buy going to do away with your DVDs. I heard rumors that even Walmart's thinking about cutting back their DVD selection. It's tough to. Anybody have an opinion? What do we think DVDs are going to do? Do you think they're going to be around, or do you think they're going to go away?
Well, I don't think that it's a rumor. My Walmart doesn't have any DVDs anymore, except for the clearance bin in the corner of the store.
Yeah, same here. They're going to get
It's going to
increasingly
be like
rare.
VHS
Yeah.
and Betamax. It's going to be harder to find them sealed, and it's going to be worth it when you find them sealed.
I agree. It's going to be harder to find, but there's still going to be opportunities out there. There's so many DVDs out there as it is now, right? Like the stores are usually loaded with DVDs. It's just a matter of it still being profitable down the road, and finding new ones is going to get harder and harder. It's just going to, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I think people are kind of burnt out with paying for 35 different streaming services. So I think that benefits us as well, because these streaming services, it's worse. I remember people used to complain about cable TV. I bet a lot of people wish we probably could go back to cable TV. Now that there's 35, if you want to watch 3 different shows, you possibly need 3 different streaming service subscriptions. It's crazy to me that we're
And don't forget, now Prime has commercials on every tier.
Wait, really?
Yep. Prime Video now has commercials on every tier.
It's crazy.
Dang.
Hey, that's Amazon, all right? That's my boss. You watch your mouth, all right?
No, I love it. Amazon
Big Daddy Bezos.
Yeah.
But they're helping us because people will buy our movies so they don't have to watch those commercials.
Yeah.
People want to own their stuff too. Like you can buy these things digitally, but you never really own it. They can take it away whenever the hell they want.
Yeah, but Chris, that's a boomer take, dude. You're like me. I get it. You want to own it, but like, a lot of people, the younger generation, they don't care. They'll just take the digital copy, man. It's like, as much as I want to be like you, like, yeah, like I want the physical
Until
stuff.
it's gone. Until
Yeah.
it's gone.
But
Watch.
like, you know,
That's
like,
true.
can you justify? Like, I was thinking about it. Like, I got these stupid little Halloween trade paperbacks, and I'm like, you can just probably find it a free PDF online instead of buying it for $200. It's like, at some point, I think it just gets too far out of line with, you know, how much are you willing to pay for it? If you just want to watch it, you got to be like a super fan collector to buy some of the stuff because the price is so high. I don't know. It's we'll see how it plays out over the next probably. I don't think it's an immediate concern. Probably say the next 1 to 3 years, see how it plays. But whenever somebody gets rid of something, that's just an opportunity for somebody else to come along and sell the stuff. So like, as much as it sucks, all these places are not selling DVDs anymore. It benefits us in the now because we can get more money for our items, and hopefully somebody somewhere else comes along. I remember when GameStop used to have Movie Stop, and it was all DVDs and movies.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, there's something else will pop up hopefully.
I know they did that.
All right. Terry asked in the Zoom chat here. I'm relatively new with selling books. I'm interested in buying bulk, but not sure how to start. I mean, this is a loaded question, but we can go down this rabbit hole together. I would highly recommend starting out. If you're interested in bulk, test the waters first, right? Do free pickups in your area. See if that works for you. See if the quality of stuff in your area makes sense. And just, you're going to have to build processes because bulk's completely different than cherry picking. It's going to be a lot of lifting, a lot of weight moving, a lot of disposing of books that aren't worth it. I would start small and just see if it, see what happens. Do a few free pickups, see if it's something you want to do. For me personally, I hate bulk because of the work that goes into it versus a time return where if I can just go pick what I want instead of digging through all the junk. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with a bulk model. You just ease into it. I guess that's the biggest thing I'm trying to say is take baby steps, learn as you go, see if it's something you want to do. You don't got to be a bulk seller to make a lot of money selling media on Amazon, and you don't have to be a cherry picker to make a lot of money selling on Amazon.
Have a plan for the duds.
Yes.
That's all I'll say.
Have a plan for the duds, and 90% is going to be duds. It's just a reality of bulk. You're not going to get nowhere near 50%, 25% accepts. It's going to be 90%. You got to dispose of. There's different ways you can do that. You can search any local bookstores in your area. You can trade them in or get credit. You can donate them back to a thrift store that you hate. We all have a Goodwill or two that we don't like. You can give them all your duds as well. But realize you got to unload the books, figure out what's crappy, reload the books, take them to the Goodwill, then unload the books again. Getting rid of the duds is the biggest challenge. That's a good point, Chris. You just have to be kind of prepared for it, and it's a lot of damn work. Anybody that's ever done a single free pickup knows with books it is a lot of work and a lot of duds you have to get rid of. And you could kind of look for an eBay seller in your area that sells books, and you can have them come pick up your duds and they can sell them on eBay. That's another option, so you don't got to move them. Kind of like the guy I had come take all my books out of my storage unit. It just makes your life easier because even for me, moving thousands of pounds of books in my Lamborghini, it's just too much, right? Like, there's not a lot of places to get rid of them. My Goodwill won't let me roll up with a full car of books and take them. They won't take that many books. So figure out what you're going to do with the duds. Put out some free pickup ads. See if you like doing bulk. Nothing wrong with it. If you do eBay, you can list some on eBay as well as Amazon and kind of go from there. I don't know. Anybody got anything else to chime in? If you started bulk today, like what it would look like?
I
Keep
went
white
head first
tricky.
with it. Yeah.
What'd you say? You both talked at the same time.
No, I was just saying I went in head first with it, and I didn't have any idea what to do with all my duds. I would add some recycling places will take your duds last resort if you have no donation centers around you, and I've even had installation companies take my books.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
No problem. Keep us posted. You run into any questions or headaches, just reach out to us. We'll figure it out as you go.
And make
Sounds
sure
great.
you get someplace to store them because, you know, ever since I moved in here and then I got rid of my storage unit to cut costs, you know, my whole house looks like a DVD warehouse. I don't have a place to sit and read a book. I did a video tour of my place on one of your Sunday meetings, and everybody was appalled because I had like this real minimal lifestyle, and now, I mean, they're everywhere. I want what you had in your video this morning, Mike. I want the storage unit is gone, and I've kind of incorporated everything in my house, but I want my house empty now. I want it to look like your storage unit.
You can. You scan it off or sell back your book, whatever they don't take. You reach out to Mikey, and he gives you a nickel a piece, and you ain't got nothing.
Yep.
I recommend to have 2 items on hand when you start bulk buying. One is either a folding cart that you can put in your vehicle to carry the books with, or like a dolly that folds down so you can be flat, and wipes, because you don't know what you're going to be touching wherever you go. Always. But those 2 things, they might butt.
We got 2 good comments in the chat here. We got Brown Frown says, sell the duds for money, like you can just throw the book out the window and money flies in, right? Miss Lachey says, interested. This is a good one. What is the common definition of a dud book? I'll go first. I'll tell you, some of our answers might be the same, but my answer is any book that ain't going to make me over $3 on Amazon if I'm buying in bulk is a dud to me. So that could be possibly $8 to $10 book you could sell on eBay, but to me that's a dud if I can't sell it on Amazon. That's my definition of a dud. It might be if you do eBay. It's just a matter of how low are you willing to go, and how fast can you list to kind of get the most bang for your hour. But if I can't make $3 on a free pickup on a book, and $3 has to be something that sells all the time, then that's a dud to me. That could be, you figure if you're not going to make $3, it's probably between like a $6 and maybe $11 book on eBay or Amazon. So that's kind of what a dud is to me.
I would also say set reasonable expectations, because if you're going to get into bulk buying, bulk is different things to different people. Some people, a trunk load is bulk. Some people, a van load. I'm doing free book pickups a week, and I had to buy a 5x8 trailer, which gets filled to the gills for most of my free book pickups from either libraries or wherever I'm getting them. What I thought was bulk has evolved, and now I'm looking at maybe doing the next step and ordering a tractor trailer load once I know I have a system in place, because I'm not doing that until I have a warehouse, a forklift, employees ready to jump on it, and none of that is ready yet. So I'm not even close to that. So before you think you're going to be jumping into bulk, set reasonable expectations and just stay fluid, because it's going to have to change, because what you think and how you hope it's going to work, probably not. And just be prepared to shift left, right, whatever. So reasonable expectations.
Good point. Thanks.
Josh says, my definition for duds is books that have a $5 and below profit, or books I can't lot up and sell on eBay. Yeah, $5 is reasonable, and lots on eBay. I tried that life. I'm not cut out for it, but I know plenty of people are. It's just not my cup of tea. I don't know. My dollar per hour is better spent if I'm in a thrift store cherry picking items than lotting books up. You guys would probably, be amazed at, the stuff I get rid of. Like, I'll have boxes and boxes of Clancy and all the same authors. It's gone. If it ain't worth it, I don't care how many of the same book I got or the same author. I'm not playing the game of lotting it up. I got to turn and burn. I understand there's a lot to be said about the slower model. Maybe if I had a storefront like Johnny where the stuff can go out in the store, and I kind of like, hey, it's easier if you have that immediate outlet. You're not afraid if somebody shows up to Johnny with a truckload. Like, he's like, drop it and go. Like, I can scan it. It don't work for Amazon. He's got an employee, like Ray was saying. Boom. There's 2 of them. They got eBay, they got Amazon, and they got the storefront. Like, that's how you win in bulk. I think that's really, you got to have employees. You can't do bulk on your own. Once you get to a certain point, you're done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, don't let it intimidate you to just kind of like start it and get your feet wet with it, because you'll find things from bulk pickups that you would never find in a thrift store in like a million years. Some of the best books I've sold on Amazon came from bulk pickups.
For sure. I agree 100%. Miss Lachey says, so I'm a dud lotter upper. Yeah, I mean, you do well. She does well with the lots. She got a YouTube channel. She does pretty well with the lots of like the same author, like the same books kind of in a set. Like I used to keep like all the Harry Potter books, and then when I had the complete set, you could sell that on eBay. The Hunger Games, the 50 Shades. Like there's something to be said about that kind of business model. You just got to be willing to put in the time and understand how it works at the end of the day. And for me, I let Johnny do all that. That's why I keep him around. So like I can be like, hey, this guy, he does bulk, and I'm just a lazy guy that works 20 hours a week. But even Johnny has his limits with bulk. Johnny, give me some limits with your bulk life. What is some stuff you wouldn't take if it showed up at your front door?
Water damaged children's books that have been doodled in, heavy highlighting and or underlining and or annotations done by previous owners. If it's got an odor to it, though I can fix that. I've kind of shied away from using chemicals to fix books because it's another time-intensive things. Earlier on, when I was starting Bulk Life, I took the time to do it. But, again, time's money, so I had to cut some things back. What else would I take? Oh, over my capacity limit, I would have to turn it away. If somebody offered me 80,000 books, I'd be like, that's great. I can't take them all at once, though. Sorry. Filled up.
What about would your life look different? Would your answer be different if you didn't have an employee?
Yeah, it'd be, because I would know how much I could process. It'd be half as much, essentially. Well, not half as much, more like 40% less. So it would take me a while to get through whatever the quantity it would be, honestly. I may have to, like the 80,000 limit, I may have to jump that down to 60,000. All kidding aside, no, you got to know your own limitations, because I can only work so many hours. I work a lot of hours, don't get me wrong. But even I have my own limits.
It's funny because I remember when John Muscarell was closing up his warehouse, and I went over there, and he was giving me some of his extra supplies he had, and he was telling me how with his duds, he had like 10 different people that would come for different things, right? He had somebody that would come take the kids' books. He had somebody to come take the books without dust jackets. He needed to have somebody come and take a specific kind of dud because he had so much of it. And it got to the point where he would just give the duds back to the company that was delivering him the Gaylords of the fresh inventory. So like that right there is proof and point where you need to have a plan for duds. I don't care if you live in the middle of nowhere. Johnny always talks about burning books, even though like that's like, for all you book enthusiasts, like burning books, like, oh my God. I mean, that's something I would say to do, but I don't live in the middle of nowhere. I might have tried it by now, but yeah, have a plan in place and kind of move on from there. Amazon is re-verifying everybody's information again. For those that don't know, PSA, you might wake up one morning, a critical event has occurred on your Amazon account. They're just going to have you double check your information. Make sure you still are who you say you are. And it takes about 30 minutes, in my experience, 30 minutes to get the email back, and you'll be good to go. The Informed Consumers Act thing is going around again. If your information has changed and you moved and you didn't change your address, and you go to change your address to update your information, they probably will temporarily ban your account. Well, deactivate it, should I say, not ban, deactivate, until they send you another postcard. So have that in mind here. If you're going to move, call into Amazon, have them put it on your file ahead of time, so when you do move, you don't get jammed up with a 2-week deactivation until their postcard decides to show up snail mail. What else we got going on? Nothing. Everybody's rich, huh?
On the topic of, I know we've been talking about bulk for like 20 minutes, but I got 2 of those pickups tomorrow. And one of them, a lady said that she rents out a garage, and it was to supposedly a book collector, and he just abandoned it. So this could either be really good or really bad. So we'll see tomorrow.
Yeah, let me know how it goes because I'm curious now. Now you got me thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Just make sure he's not dead in there.
Oh God, don't say
Oh,
that.
jeez.
Now I'm gonna sleep on that. Thank you.
You open that thing up, dude, and it's like there's like five
Stinks.
foot size rats. Like
Walking
nasty.
right
Just
out.
remember, there's a fine line between hoarder and collector.
I'm sure you'll. I'm sure you'll. Are you taking everything, or is she letting you pick?
She's gonna let me look through. She said that she tried doing it herself, which she had found supposedly looked up some stuff on A-Books, and found quite a few $100 plus books in there. And she was like, "Oh, it's too much work. I don't want to deal with any of it. You could just take it all if you want it." I was like, "Okay, man."
Note about Abe's, their prices are usually way higher than the conventional marketplaces.
Yeah, I figured, but we'll see.
Chris, how'd you find that?
Just she said I had picked up from her before, but I don't remember her voice or her name or her number. But it was probably from an ad, either on Nextdoor or Facebook.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Kerry, get free ads out there. Craigslist, Nextdoor, Facebook, it's all free to post. I got my exact Craigslist ad over in the Discord. You don't got to pay for the books. You can just change it to free pickup. I do free pickup now, but back in the day, I used to pay 15 cents a pound, which is a premium. Bulk buyers usually pay between 3 and 9 cents a pound if you're getting it by the truckload. So if somebody says your 15 cents is cheap, then you say, yeah, whatever. See you later. Bye.
Yeah, I went on Craigslist. There was two other resellers on there. The same kind of messages we put on there. It sounds like I already have several competitors out there.
Well, if they're paying, then you're screwed. But if they're not paying, then you can pay and have, a one-up.
Okay, good idea.
You can even do 10 cents a pound. I still think you're good to go with that.
I still offer 15 cents. It's cheap enough, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing still.
We all can load up a tractor trailer and we'll send it to Johnny and we'll just bankrupt them.
Wow.
Sorry. Close sign. Can't come in.
We'll be
Can't get to
outside
me.
with pitchforks and torches, dude. You're going to pay one way or another.
Overcapacity.
Sales have been good for me. I don't know what other people's sales have been for the month of April. I mean, it's been a pretty solid month, but I've been busting my ass this month. I'm at 5472 so far for the month, so that's not bad. I can't complain. I should get close to 10K for the month. It's just the more you send, the more you make. I firmly believe that, as stupid as it sounds, if you're buying the right stuff and you send it in, as your inventory climbs, you make more and more money. As it gets checked in, you make more and more money. So just, if you're not seeing the results you want to see, know that it takes more than 500 items to make money on Amazon unless you have really premium stuff. And I know we kind of really don't talk about it, but I mean, I'm sitting right now a little bit over 2,500 items. Johnny, give me an estimate. How many you got right now? I don't got to be exact.
11,300. 11,300.
I mean, it's a volume game. You can make decent money at low numbers, right? I'm not saying you can't make $1,000 a month at 500 items, but the more you send, the more you make, the more you source. So kind of all just boils down to finding the inventory, not spending all day doing this, and making as much as you can.
Yeah, I mean, we're selling between 20 and 40 books a day at the moment. We just upped our send-in ratio, so I'm hoping to get to that averaging around 50 number a day probably in the next couple months here, if we keep on the send capacity going. And then we make upgrades here in the shop, and it'll be a good time.
You finally can get a bathroom installed instead of using the outhouse.
No, we're going to get another employee, make them do all the work. It'll be great.
So the most items I sold in a single day so far this month was 27. Just for anybody out there wondering kind of what that looks like. The least amount of items I sold so far in a day is 11. So fluctuation is real. It's just up and down with Amazon. But hey, as I get my inventory levels up, I too will be like Johnny and sell 40 plus items. I doubt I'll never get that high, but where I'm at now, I'm surprised I've even gotten this inventory back up to where it is. But I mean, if it's there, I'm gonna buy it. I'm not gonna pass it up. So if I'm out there and I'm scanning, nothing's gonna stop me from buying something I know is gonna make $1.
The note on send everything, I agree with this. Outside, or the one caveat to that is make sure you're priced to sell.
Yes.
If you're overpriced, you're not going to sell your item. It doesn't matter if you send 1,000,000 Nora Roberts in there, you're still going to have 1,000,000 Nora Roberts that don't sell.
Doesn't matter what the buy box price is either, because it might not sell at the buy box price. Maybe the buy box price is way too high. You got to have a realistic expectation. Maybe it's good for me because, like, I don't know, books are just pieces of paper to me. So, like, I'm just like, whatever. What can I sell it at, right? Like, I'm not, like, convinced that this book is going to sell for this amount because it's by Nora Roberts and she starred in Marvel Avengers, and I know that this book is going to sell for $25. But for me, I'm just like, hey, I'm going to sell for $17.99, get my, $6 to $10 and move on. You can't go. The buy box and these prices sometimes are way out of line. I don't care what the buy box is.
Oh, yeah.
What's it actually going to sell for? And that just comes with pricing and knowledge. You're not going to be able to just, it's not something we can sit here and be like, hey, here's exactly how you do it. But when you're pricing your stuff, think to yourself, like, is somebody going to pay $50 for, Big Bird sings with the Teletubbies? Like, let's be real here. Like, it's probably not going to sell for that money. So, all right, maybe at $25, it'll actually sell. If you have Keep It, you can see kind of the past prices. But even that sometimes is completely wrong. If somebody buys it by accident and returns it, and you only got one sale in the past 90 days and that's it, you got bad information right there.
Yeah, I just went through like the top end of my inventory, checking a few things, and I noticed a few things. I had a couple kids' books over the $100 range, so we repriced them accordingly, and I've sold about half of them now. So paying attention to it, not just letting your reprice. I mean, we should have trust in our repricer, but we should verify that it's repricing correctly, or we have exclusions to nonsense like we're talking about here.
Yeah, repricers get wild sometimes. Check your stuff at least once a month. Go in the beginning of the month. Sort your inventory, price highest to lowest. Manage all inventory page on Seller Central. Go through, do it manually once a month, and you'll be amazed at the extra money you put into your bank account. I know Roz ran into this. Some of her stuff was priced way out of line, and she went back and she's having the best month when it comes to selling DVDs. So, like, there's something to be said about having an actual realistic price on an item so that it sells, and you're kind of not just, I've had the buy box for 6 months and it never sold, and it's like, well, then your price was just completely wrong. I'm not saying lose money, but I'd rather you take the $10 today instead of hoping you can get $30. It may never come for the next 6 months because you price something $20 higher than it is anywhere else. What else we got going on? Anything fun, exciting? I'm glad I got all the books out of my storage unit, my new eBay model. Hey, it is what it is. If I can't find stuff that's worth over $50, then eBay stays at zero. That's fine by me. Hopefully this relationship, I can continue to get rid of this stuff moving forward. That would be a huge time saver and headache for me. The person comes to me, takes all the duds, I move on. We'll see come next month. Those are the type of relationships you get into bulk that you got to have an immediate exit strategy for everything that sucks. But other than that, I mean, I'm thrifting all day tomorrow. You guys know I do 2 thrifting days a week, so I'll be out all day tomorrow, probably for about 10 hours, give or take, hitting all the thrift stores, half off day. Make sure you leverage discount days, senior discount days if you're a senior. Tatiana, what's up? Update me. Tatiana's probably still got 1,000 CDs to go through, but I like seeing where she's at.
I have so many. The funniest thing is I started with books, and then I really hated books, and then I liked DVDs, and somehow I ended up with one bulk buy, and now I just derailed and I'm all on CDs right now. I'm still going through it, but it really helps with having a plan for the duds, because I'm getting a lot of money back from like Sell Back Your Book, and I have a lot for Mike piling up, and it just takes a long time, but I'm glad that there's a plan for it. Otherwise, I would just feel like I was losing. Whenever I'm scanning duds, I know that I still have I'll either get 5 cents for it, I'll get something from Sellback.
How's the profit looking overall in the buy so far?
I just scanned. I just sent in a box on Monday, and according to GoToLister, it was saying like 3,000 or something. But
Sheesh.
but let's see if it actually sells. But I was just happy that I'm having this model is it's time like a lot of work, but it works for me because of my schedule with my son. I can't always take him with me to book sales, and he'll get lost in there. And so it's working. I just feel a little overwhelmed with the amount that's taking over my office.
Do you feel like you've already seen an increase in sales since you've been sending?
Ever since I sent, like I got the bulk by March, like March 14th, and I think March was my best month because I sent out, like I even like looked at how many I used to send in with shipments, and I used to sell like 30 in a box of books, and then I see like now I have like 120, 140, and now like my last one was 199 because I wasn't sure what would the max be for the number of SKUs, but I'm noticing with the CDs I can up my inventory a lot more, and I've had a lot more sales. So it gives me more confidence.
Yeah, now you're motivated because you get some money back.
So I'm excited. I just wasn't sure. I'm just waiting for all the rest of it. But it was my best month last month, so I'm just still plugging it away until I have no more CDs left.
Just checking in on you, make sure you're still hanging in there, dealing with it all. And Michael, get them duds out of your hair soon, or I'm going to kick them out of the group.
I'm gonna drive him over.
Just dump him right on the lawn. Just start throwing. Instead of TPing his house, he's getting CDs.
My husband has a dump truck, so if he gets to that point, just go.
Yep, careful what you wish for, Mike. Shot down over on YouTube says, "Sell back your book buys DVDs and CDs too." Yes, they actually buy a lot of that stuff. The only thing I caution people with is if you see sell back your book is going to pay $2.97, that usually means it's a much more profitable item. That's just the max they're willing to pay. So if you ever see the wholesale come back $2.97, that's probably a banger. And they, for some reason, they just have it set up. They only pay $2.97.
I got a note on sell back your book. You may want to take a secondary look at the book. Just the simple fact, why are they wanting to buy it? Because I've encountered a few times where it's scanning incorrectly. It's actually scanning for another listing. So all they're doing is they're flipping it back on and putting on the correct listing because they know that most people just scan the book and they send it in on the wrong listing and it'll never sell. Or it'll sell for pennies versus dollars over here.
Yeah.
Not on everything. You got to use a judgment call, but most things.
Well, that's like when you scan a book and it's like, this is $1,000 profit, and then none of the wholesale companies want to buy it. Come on, I mean, like if they don't want it, then
or they'll know it's part of a set, and they do the set assembly thing where they'll collect all four and mail it in for $100.
Yep.
Versus us, who are not going to bother doing that.
Yeah, for sure. That's a good call out. John says, "Has anyone tried Books Run?" Yeah, Books Run actually works. It's not a bad company. It's actually, believe it or not, it's in the neighborhood I grew up in Kensington, Philadelphia. It's like one of the worst neighborhoods in the country, and it's actually right down there in Philly. It's funny that because I googled them when they first came out, and only thing I can say with the buyback companies is pick somebody and roll with them, right? Like you can't be the sell back Books Run. What's some of the other ones? Zifit, Declutter. You can't be that person. Pick somebody, be their ambassador, and even if Book Run says, "Hey, I'm going to give you an extra 10 cents for this CD," just stick to sell back your book, or vice versa. You can't be this person with 30 boxes and nickels and dimes going into every single box, and you can't even get over the free shipping threshold. That's why I just stick with sell back your books. I don't even mess with anything else. Has anyone tried Books Run more than sell back your book? Declutter pays more in my opinion. I tried Declutter Brown Frown and I didn't get nothing. It sucked, but I mean, to each their own. Everybody has different experiences. I just like sell back your book. I get my money quick. I've never had like a bad experience with them, and I feel like they pay a decent amount. I mean, they buy a lot of crappy DVDs. I know that whenever I bulk buys, they always buy a lot of the stuff that I don't even, like Johnny said, I don't know who they're selling it to, or well, then again, they cross-list everything, and they have huge warehouses, so they buy Titanic for a nickel. They're probably getting $2 profit somewhere along the line. So I guess it makes sense for them, but not for me. All right, 5 minutes left. Last call for alcohol.
Okay, I want that Dunkin' Donuts spiked coffee. It's not available in my state. Somebody send me some.
That's like a heart attack in a bottle. You drink that thing, it's probably like 35,000 milligrams of caffeine.
And that's like 1 cup of Johnny's coffee.
That's true.
Yeah.
Johnny, you just start your own coffee brand.
I probably should. We could probably sell it too.
I'm going to pick on Eric a little bit before we get out of here because Eric's somebody that wants to go full time. Eric, update me. How are things going? How is the reselling business progressing for you?
Going very well. This week we actually had our quickest check-in and receiving time. That box that I posted in the group yesterday, it already got checked in and received this morning.
They've switched my distribution center. I used to send all of them to Illinois. Now I'm sending all of them to Indiana.
Oh, wow.
That sucks.
So, are you seeing progress in sales here? You feel like your sales are building month to month so far?
Yeah. March, I actually took some time off. The only reason because the wife's birthday and we went out of the country for
Dude,
her
you're
birthday.
always traveling
So
the world. Every time I see you on Instagram, you're in a different damn country.
yes, the Bahamas was nice. But okay, besides that, I had a goal to have it at my inventory at least up to 700 by then, and by the grace of God, we had it up to 700. Now it dropped down, of course, because sales are starting to pick up and push in. So it dropped down back to 600 with the 65 that we sent in yesterday and the 104 we sent in today. It's going to boost it around close to over 770 items. Still doing bulk pickups and wheeling and dealing on Facebook Marketplace and sending out those offers and getting traction there. Besides that, it's been really well. Like we've been consistently hitting around $1,500 to $2,000 a month, so $1,000 in profit or more. So give or take each month. So it's still progressing, and with the more money, I'm starting to look at bigger and bigger buys.
I guess the question is, do you have a number in mind for you to quit your job and do this full time?
As long as I can consistent. So right now I'm close to 1,500 to 2,000 in just gross profit, and 1,000 to 1,000 to 1,500 close to net. If I can get it to where I'm making at least net $3,000 to $4,000 a month, I'll be set to go.
So does that already triple the inventory that you have currently in there? So 2,500 thereabouts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's why I've been just constantly sourcing and consistently talking to others, because I'm starting to wear down starting to talk and make that relationship with one of the managers for half of the libraries here where I'm at, and she's essentially just let me know what you want and I can call up the warehouse and get it for you.
Nice.
But that's still a work in progress, and we still have to work out the numbers because I told her a number, she told me a number, and depending on the inventory, because a lot of it's marked with the library stuff and whatnot, I have to kind of pick and choose and also find a number that works for both ends.
Have you circulated through the pawn shops on white pages or something yet?
No, but I have been finding the pawn shops on OfferUp and Facebook because they have been posting there, and I've been seeing the kind of deals. Now I just want to walk in there and kind of be like, I will offer you X amount of dollars for this whole entire kind of shelf.
Check out whitepages.com, and that's just the business pages essentially, and search for pawn shops, and I would just make a route to go in person and see what kind of deals you can make. That might accelerate you a little faster.
Oh, okay. Yeah, most definitely, because I'm really trying to push it. Even my wife has been starting to help me get in, I know it's crazy to see her, actually, helping, but she's been getting me, boxes and stuff from her job when I need it for, the smaller shipments or even the bigger shipments where I have to have, a kind of different box. She's been helping me that way. I've also been asking her if she can help me prep some of the items, because prepping and packing is, one of the easier per se of the stuff. Just my pricing I kind of want to keep to myself for now, and the sourcing part. So, but the prepping and packing she can do, and she enjoys that. She doesn't mind like taking off stickers or repackaging the CDs or DVDs for now. Who knows later on, but yeah.
No, my employee's the same way. She loves the stickering or de-stickering. That's all her.
Mhm.
I don't want nothing to do with it, but she loves it.
Yeah, so see, so now I'm starting to get that down. So like I'm just constantly hitting sourcing, and right now at the job they've kind of gotten to their flow type of deal. So I know when I'm going to be off, and I can just go off on my routes that I do daily for like 2 or 3 hours.
Nice.
I got a question. I mean, cause you kind of, I mean, Deb knows whether or not if I'm wasting my damn time doing this. So, do you feel like do you think your wife is like? I mean, Deb always says when I did my first box on Amazon, she thought I had no shot because it took me like 6 hours to do. And she was right. I had no idea what I was doing. But now she sees like the money I make. Do you feel like the wife sees the progress you're making and like sees it in the future that you could possibly just sell DVDs and CDs full time?
Most definitely. Like in the beginning, she was like, "Are you like, do people really buy this stuff?" And now that I've been showing her the numbers, and she's been seeing me because, I mean, for the stuff that we had come up, and in the past, even when I've told her, I said, "Listen, we don't have X amount of dollars available to us in the personal account, but we have this money in my business account to be able to take out and pay for it." So she's seen me be able to do this, and so she kind of gets a feeling that, wow, this is something like you've been remaining consistent, you're actually sticking to it, and you're actually doing it. And she's like, I 100% believe you could do this. You just got to keep on doing it. Like she even catches me sometimes like, are you going to go sourcing today?
That's the
Are
same
you going
way,
to
dude.
like, when are you going to pack that box? Well, before it was, those books have been sitting there for X amount of days. Like, when is that going to leave? You can't mess with my interior design.
Yeah,
So,
that's good. That's good.
so so I mean, I need that swift kick in the butt because honestly, from the time that I got those 100 plus items to send out just recently, like that's been like slowly gaining, and then I've been trying to have time to like continue to source because I don't want to mess up the schedule that I have in regards to when they replen. Because I am also fighting some of the competitors out here, so I can tell when I go to my sources if I miss it on that replen day, I can see that they've already been there, and when I scan it, it's like, oh well, they've taken majority of it, or they don't take the bigger sets that I usually buy. So
Yeah.
beyond that, it's like just kicking myself to get it out. Even though I really don't do shipments throughout the week, I usually plan shipments on Saturday and Sunday. But when I don't hit those days, it's like, okay, Monday, even though I know I have to go to my replen store, it's like I have to get this inventory out. So and I told her this, I was like, if I don't get this out, I literally invested X amount of dollars. There's X amount of potential profit, and that's slowly going down by X amount of dollars every single day I'm not sending it in. So, and she even tells me that she's like, didn't you pay this much? You need to get it out.
Yeah, that's funny. Deb said in the chat, "How is Deb the same way? I have the stream muted." So I guess she heard me. Eric's wife yells at him about stuff sitting around the same way you do with me. These books been on my floor for 3 days. Yeah, whatever.
Oh my
Keep
gosh.
quiet down, quiet down.
It was bad when I had that CD bulk buy because CDs take up more room because they're more plentiful in smaller amounts. So she was like, there's like 3 or 4 IKEA bags full here. What you gonna do with them? Like, you haven't touched them yet. I'm like, I'm getting to it. Hot under the collar type of deal.
Yeah, it's all a balancing act. It's tough to kind of I guess the good thing is like when you have the inventory, things are going great. It's easy to resell, right? Like you're motivated like all heck to get out there and scan and find more. Just know that the opposite is also true. I went thrifting, I think it was last week. On a day I usually don't go thrifting, on a Friday, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna hit all these little thrift shops. I haven't been there. They're due, and it was miserable. I maybe came out with like one bag full from like 4 little thrift shops I haven't been to in a month. And just know that with the good times, there's gonna be rough times. You just gotta power through it and just keep scanning and keep looking and keep sourcing. Shotdown says, I've heard no one buys DVDs or CDs anymore so many times. Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing when you try to explain what you do to your family. Like, They don't like,
Yeah.
you know, like you sit around the Thanksgiving table and say you sell DVDs and CDs, they're gonna think like you're living off your wife or your significant under or under the underpass. It's like nobody kind of takes it seriously, but who cares what other people think? That's what I always tell everybody. Like, who cares? You know, you can, you know, you want to. There's nothing wrong with having a 9 to 5 job. I just rather be my own boss. I enjoy it. I enjoy everything that comes with it. So you just kind of roll with it.
I'd
Yeah,
rather
the
people
goal.
think that there's no value in CDs.
Yeah, yeah, no value in CDs. Nobody buys CDs or DVDs anymore. I will say this. Yeah, Deb made a good point. Just like people don't think I make a full-time income selling cat and dog toys. Yeah, and it's like, who the hell would ever make money selling cat and dog toys? But here we are.
The,
That's a
the,
question for you, Mike. Where do I buy a Gaylord?
Oh boy.
I think Ray has a few trailer full of duds, and Chris is going to have a shit ton tomorrow. So yeah, he'll be able to sell you one. No promise. Wait, great for reselling, not picked over, fresh, clean
Fresh.
inventory,
Good for flea markets.
good for flea markets, not scanned.
Perfect for resellers.
Yeah, the Gaylords will find you usually, actually.
Yeah, never looked at. I don't even know if there's. I don't know if there's anything even in the Gaylord. I never even looked at it. Someone told me there's books in there, but I don't know because it's so fresh. I don't even want to look at it.
Yep.
That's how fresh it is.
Not scanned.
Not scanned. Great for resale. Then the picture of the e-yo-yos, and the picture of the
Oh,
watch.
God.
Like, yeah, sure, whatever you say.
Very good condition. Resales on Discogs are valued at $5 million.
Exactly.
I know what I got. Price is firm. Yeah. Good luck, Chuck. That thing will be up there for the next 10 years. You'll see the same post. And I see it too. Like when I search on Facebook Marketplace, you see the same people trying to sell this stuff. Like, nobody's paying you $2 per DVD. I'm here to, I hate to break it to you. I just feel like messaging these people like, your post has been up for 10 years and it's still the same thing. Nobody wants it.
One thing I have figured out though is if you just put your offer out there, and it was something that me and Prince in the Discord were talking about. If you just put your offer out there, and then if they decline it, just say, "Okay, that's the high. Sorry, or I apologize. That's the highest I'm able to go. Just know in the future if you're still looking to sell it or if it's still available, reach out to me and my offer still stands." And he said he's gotten a lot of people are still reaching back out to him like days or weeks later, like, "Hey, the offer is still, if the offer, like willing to sell to him." So just that follow up or just putting that out there. Like this one guy I messaged, I was like, I saw the CDs that he wanted to sell. I was like, okay, but I'm not paying that much for it. So I sent my offer, and it's way more than what we usually sell, like around 50 cents or 50 or 75 cents, like a CD or something like that. But I said, here's my offer. He declined it, but I said, thank you for the consideration. Sorry, can't go that high, but if in the future you're still looking to sell it, please reach back out, and my offer still stands. Thank you.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. There's nothing wrong with just, messaging people and, throwing it out there. Although, soon enough, like, Eric will get noticed in public. It'll be like, hey, that's that cheap-ass guy on Facebook Marketplace who's always trying to buy the CDs and DVDs.
Hey, then they'll be like, hey, we have 1 million CDs we want to get rid of. Here you go. Hey, I only pay X amount of dollars, so you get pennies.
It's good to be known as that person. I think having your name out there and, the more publicity you can have as in this business, the more money you're going to make. We're going to wrap it up here, though. Everybody, if you need me, reach out in the Discord. Everybody over in the YouTube world, we all appreciate you, even though I'm the only one that talks to you guys over in YouTube. Everybody here appreciates you as well, especially Johnny. He loves YouTube. I'm going to get him to start his own channel. Look, that's like the worst heart ever, dude. That looked like some kind of like muffin or something. Like, dude, like you gotta. I'm not even facing the camera here. Like, when people send me lowball offers day one of a listing, I tell them to hit me up in a week. Johnny will start a YouTube when I start a YouTube. Yeah, that will be never. He'll get no subscribers like Deb because he'll be too mean and too direct, and nobody will like him. And that'll just be, the start and end of his channel. So, all right, everybody, I appreciate you hanging out, and reach out if you need me. Everybody have a good night and make some money this week, will you?
All right.
Take it easy.
Yeah. Have a good one. Peace.